Welcome to another out-of-spec testing video. Today you join me with the Lucid Air Sapphire at IONNA Garner to figure out how good of a road tripper the top-of-the-line Lucid crazy insano machine really is. The 10% challenge was actually developed with Lucid in mind when we started all of this a few years ago, and it essentially quantifies the road tripping capability of an electric car into a single number. And the way it works is we get to a charging station, we charge up the car for 15 minutes, and then we see how far we can go at 80 miles an hour. I'll of course walk you through the detailed testing procedures because there's a lot of stuff we got to get dialed in here. But in this episode, you join me to figure out if the Lucid Sapphire, hey, by the way, we know this thing's an insane car on track, and in a drag strip situation, what about the road trip? That is why you guys joined me in this episode to figure out if you can get from racetrack to racetrack quickly in the Lucid Air Sapphire. Lucid Air Sapphire 10% challenge. This is a car that has to do it all. It's $250,000. You get the optimal performance characteristics out of this car in terms of its 1,234 horsepower, 3 permanent magnet electric motors. We'll talk a little bit about that in the 10% challenge as well. But ultimately this test, we know this car's crazy on track. We know it's fast. We know it handles incredibly well. It truly is a masterpiece of driving character, I think. But it needs to go on a road trip well. You need to get around in your Sapphire. Most people are not going to be tracking these. They're going to be going on trips and using them, I hope, for their intended purpose, which is to be sort of a single car solution. It's your track day monster and your road tripper all in one. So what do we have here for the test? Well, I'll walk you through the actual specs on the car first, then the testing procedures. And I'll also reference our range test, which went up recently. This Lucid Air Sapphire has a 118 kilowatt hour usable roughly. High voltage battery pack is 924 volts at 100%. It uses a Samsung 50G cell, which is a very similar cell to or the identical cell to what's in the Gen 1 Rivian. And this car is pretty healthy. It only has about 5,000 miles on it, but they've been super hard 5,000 miles. Lucid told me this car is right around 95% state of health. Now, overall capacity doesn't really matter too much for the 10% challenge. We should see a pretty representative result here, and the charging performance should be great. Some of you may have heard me mention Lucid's AC charge counter in the past. This one I've been trying to AC charge as much as possible so that we can maintain high power DC charging. Lucid's D rate with multiple rapid DC fast charging sessions is very minimal though. We're talking maybe a minute or two over a full 10 to 80% charging session. So I'm not too worried about it, but this car, in case anyone is wondering, should not be in that D rate area at all. We should get full maximum performance. So speaking of that, the car is sitting at 11% right now. It's sitting here preconditioning the battery pack. I've been preconditioning on my roughly 1.5 hour drive down here to Garner from the out-of-spec track. And so it should be ready to rock and roll. I've installed the aero caps on this car. I actually just ran the range test with it. So it's on the full carbon aero disc cool caps right there, which I think look amazing. And just like our range tests, these aero caps are included with the Sapphire. We want to make sure we're running the car in the most efficient configuration. So we should plug it in as soon as it dips to 10%. These are the NAX chargers on this side of the rechargery. On the other side will be the CCS chargers. And I may actually take the ADA spot because I want to make sure we're not going to be sharing power with anyone. And there was a couple cars over on the CCS chargers. So if someone that is ADA pulls up, I'll move, but hopefully it'll be okay. I just want to make sure we get the best result here. What we'll do as soon as it dips to 10%, we'll plug it in, charge the car for 15 minutes, analyze the charging performance, of course, with the climate control running, because that is what most people would do on a road trip, sit in their car, wait while it charges. Then we're going to jump onto I-40, which is right there, literally right there. It's the perfect place to do these tests. And then we're going to go out east towards the ocean, about halfway, come back over this way. As soon as the car dips back down to 10%, that will be the end of the 10% challenge. Should be perfect. Let's see, last time I checked 3 minutes ago, right before this clip, the car was at 11%. It is currently still at 11%. And there we are. we'll have to wait until it dips to 10%, and then we can start this test. So I've got headlights on. Let's pull it over to a CCS charger. We should still be preconditioning. Yes, battery's preconditioning. I've had to turn it on a couple times. I think it just has like sort of a timeout feature, but this battery should be ready to rock and roll. Tire pressures have been set to 42 PSI when cold. So we're a little bit above there because we drove over here, but that's to be expected. And you can see a Kia EV9 charging up over here, and there was a Lightning. Yeah, there's the Lightning charging. So the only CCS station that can give us full power is this one right here. It is technically a ADA stall, which means it's got the handicap thing there, but hopefully we'll be okay. If anyone has an issue with this, I'm sorry. I don't love doing it, but I think it's intended to be used this way for charging and for ADA. Anyway, there's still one more left over, and if that's full, we'll move, of course. So this is the charger that we'll be using. It's an Alpitronic HIC 400, Hypercharger 400. It's dual CCS with the oil cooling, so we will have no charger derate whatsoever. This can give the car all 400 kilowatts it wants. The Lucid Air Sapphire should take around 350 kilowatts when it's very low on charge. I don't necessarily expect that to happen here at 10%. But as testing procedures go, as soon as it dips from 11 down to 10, we'll plug it in and get ready to rock and roll. How cool is it that we're able to play around with the Sapphire? These cars are so rare, so exclusive, so cool. I'm totally in love with it. Shout out to Lucid for letting us play around with this thing. So let's get rocking and rolling. As soon as it dips to 10%, we'll plug in and start this challenge. One of our viewers actually just mentioned that the toll road is one exit up from here. So we might actually want to jump on I-40 up one exit and then get on 540, which is the toll road. There is no one ever on that road, dead flat, wide lanes, fresh new pavement. So I think that makes more sense than sitting on 40 going east. And I'm pretty sure the speed limits are the same, 70, 75, something like that. So we're not going to be going too much over, which is important. Don't want to, do anything crazy. Yeah, I say let's try the toll road for this 10% challenge. That should give us the least risk for traffic, which is the goal. We just need to maintain 80 miles an hour in this test. Great news, viewers. We've just dipped to 10%. I've shut off all loads. We'll turn climate control back on once we start charging. Let's open up the charging port and get this thing charging. So this will be my first ever time charging a Lucid at a IONNA location. So let's get the cable pulled around. It's got this pretty cool cable management I can just pull out. Just wanted to show everyone that. I see a lot of people that don't realize you can pull those cables out. In we go on the CCS handle. It will then prompt me for payment right here. IONNA just recently updated their authorization from a $50 pre-authorization to a $30 pre-authorization. And they also don't stop the charging session when you reach the $30. So if you need to put in, more than 100 kilowatt hours, for example, 39 cents per kilowatt hour, pretty cheap, then it'll just re-top up. So it's authenticating, preparing to charge. Oh, these are cool graphics I haven't seen before. Check all this out. What kind of funny looking vehicle is that? It looks so happy. It's like part dog, part van. So as soon as it kicks on charging, we'll turn climate control on in the Lucid. And I also need to get a 15-minute timer going, which I'm doing right here on my watch. So there we go. We are started. We are charging 270 kilowatts right off the bat. Again, it dips up to 11% quickly because we just plugged in at 10%. Let's come over here, turn climate control on automatic at, 68, 70 degrees. We'll keep rear climate off. 280 kilowatt charging and ramping up more. So we'll leave the car here with the climate control running. While this is actually going, I'm gonna run in, use the restroom really quick and grab a snack inside, but let's see how the session's going. Almost 300 kilowatts now in the Sapphire. I can come here to detail and you can see we're at 835 volts and 358 amps, 301 kilowatts ramping up. That was our peak right there. 301, 307. Damn, this thing is boogieing. 310, 311 kilowatt charging. Oh, this is better than I expected. 315, 16, Let's go. And this is why we couldn't plug into another charger that had another car there. We needed all the juice in the Alpitronic, or at least most of it. Man, this is so cool. Let's see, we're at 850 volts, 370 amps. There's our charging curve so far. We love a charging curve that goes up, but again, we've only got, oh yeah, we can use our 15-minute timing here. Perfect. We've only got, let me just make sure, 132. Yeah, we're like a couple seconds off. I think this is from when charging actually started. So we should stop at 15 minutes on that one right there. Still over 300 kilowatts right now. Damn, Sapphire is absolutely ripping. It's so cool. All right, well, we should dip under 300 kilowatts here is my feeling. It's coming down. But look at that, 300 kilowatts to almost 20%. We're not talking Lucid Taycan or Porsche Taycan charging right here, but considering it's a Samsung 50G cell, yeah, there we are, just under 300 kilowatts now at 19%. For considering it's still a Samsung 50G cell, amazing performance from that charge. That is where this car can shine in our 10% challenge. So I'll let it charge for 15 minutes. We'll check in on this throughout the session. I'm going to run in. Maybe I'll show you guys inside as well. It's a really cool lounge area. I've done a full tour at this location before, so you can check that out on Out of Spec Reviews. This is inside the lounge, a really cool area, and they have this little store, so I can just tap my card right here. I think, please present your card. There we go. Go. And then the way it works is you can just grab whatever you want. There's all these little cameras around, and then it just bills you at the end, and it's super cool. So I can get some snacks. Maybe in the comments, let me know. I've been trying out this new smart water with the black top. It says it's a alkaline version. Let me know if you think that's better, or if I should go for the normal smart water, or maybe skip smart water altogether. Let me know what you think. Snacks, everything else, it's a really cool area just to grab some stuff ahead of running in the 10% challenge. Restrooms are awesome. By the way, the whole area, these doors, the restrooms, they're open through an app. So you scan a QR code, boom, unlock door, instantly the door opens up. It's such a cool situation. I absolutely love it. Well, I just popped out of the rechargery lounge in there. Super cool. We are at 43%, 175 kilowatts going in. We've got another 5 minutes of charging. I'm going to clean out some trash out of the car, wash the windshield, because yes, you need trash cans and windshield washing stations for every charging port. Absolutely amazing. And then we'll head out on the challenge. Using this as a basis for our testing operations is perfect. There's everything we need in a lounge. There's super fast Wi-Fi if I have to upload stuff. They don't even sponsor this channel, but I'm just so thrilled to have such a cool partner with IONNA working with us at Out of Spec. It's awesome. Yes, they even have a windshield washer, spray fill up, and tire inflator here. So if we ever need to adjust tire pressures ahead of a test, it's so perfect. And then we have, I totally forgot about the toll road. This is amazing. The world's emptiest and flattest and most amazing toll road that just runs as a big loop around Raleigh. It's perfect. Well, that was the perfect amount of time to use the restroom, grab snacks, get the car's trash cleaned out, and what else did I do? Wash the windshield. So how long did all of that take, including some charging? 14 minutes. That is why the 10% challenge is a 15-minute charging session, because that is all the time you should ever need. I mean, granted, if you have kids, that's a different story. But if you're hammering charger to charger, which a lot of us do on our road trips, this test is so important in terms of making a buying decision for your next electric car. In a future video, we'll analyze the charging curve of the Sapphire, but here we are at 53% doing 150 kilowatts, typical charging curve, maybe a little thermal derate right there is what it seems like to me, and that's very common, and also why we run climate control in the vehicle, because it puts an extra stress on the thermal systems. Although today's conditions are very mild, high 60 degrees or so. All right, we're gonna wait for that to hit 15 minutes, then we're gonna hit stop. Still doing 150 kilowatt charging. We've got just a couple seconds left. I don't want the screen to refresh on me. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop the session. Boom, 15 minutes of charging on the nose. So then we'll come over here and unplug the car. I'll just put that on this side of the bollard. That worked out perfectly. Cables ice cold, literally no warmth to them. That is amazing. And we're gonna jump in. We've charged to, let's see, turn off, keep climate, charged to 55%. Let's come in here to settings, trip A, we'll reset that. Smooth mode, we don't want to be in Sapphire mode, and we're going to jump right on 540. Oh, one last thing to check, make sure rear climate is off. It is. So everything's in the most efficient settings. Let's pop out of here, jump immediately onto the highway, and get us set at 80 miles an hour. That Lightning is still there charging. They must be doing a deep charging session. So let's pop out here and head west towards Raleigh, I guess, so that we can get on the toll road. Here we are merging west towards Raleigh. I just love how this is literally right on the highway. We didn't even have to sit at a red light this whole time. We just cruised right on. So now this GR Corolla, let's hit the throttle, buddy. We got to get right up to 80 miles an hour as soon as we get on the highway. We'll take the next exit up for 540, which is the toll road, and then we'll just cruise there until we dip back to 10%. The nice thing about doing our testing in this area is very, very minimal elevation gain or loss, and today very, very minimal wind, so we can kind of just cruise, and I'll try to end us as close as we can back to this area when we get close to 10%, but for now things are looking good, and we just got to get up to 80 miles an hour. There's the exit for the toll road. Maybe, especially if we do these tests at nighttime, we have wide open highway just to cruise at the speeds we need. But here we are, bringing up the speed, and we'll get right onto Triangle Expressway West in 1 mile. I was just able to check that 80 miles an hour indicated is truly 80 miles per hour GPS. So we are going to run 80 miles an hour indicated. We are 2 miles into the test right now, and this is our exit, which I don't love all the on-ramp exit BS thing, but at least it's a loop-de-loop. So this is kind of clumsy, but not too bad. And then once we're on this road, we can just sit at 80 forever. So that's perfect. And I believe this is the starting point for the 540 Expressway. Just carrying a nice gentle pace around the off-ramp. Then we'll get it right up to 80 and sit there for a long while. How perfect is this? Yes, genuinely the start of the 540 Expressway. That's where it ends, right there. Oh, this is perfect. So, see you guys in a little bit as we check in throughout the drive. And we call this road the 540 Autobahn in this area. At least when we used to live in Raleigh years ago, this was all still under construction. And I remember just thinking, man, how cool would it be to have this freaking awesome, super wide toll road throughout the whole area. And now we've got it. And this is like peak travel time of the day. And no one is out here. I love it. The testing procedures have come together. Shout out to the viewers in the comments for recommending this route so close to the IONNA station. Really came in at the last second there, and that is amazing. So here we are. We'll just cruise up and down this tollway until we get to 10%, but we'll be sitting here for a long while in this car. We added quite a bit of energy. One thing I forgot to tell you, or at least mention when we were unplugging, but in 15 minutes this car added, or at least the charger delivered, just under 54 kilowatt hours. Probably by the time I hit stop, it was 54 kilowatt hours. Now that's a very strong number, but it is nowhere near from some of the highest charging power vehicles that we've tested. So now it's really up to the Lucid Air Sapphire's efficiency strengths to help us at 80 miles an hour to get that road trip number. However, based off of our 70 mile per hour highway range test in this car, it's not as efficient as we were hoping. At 70 miles an hour, we got 3 miles per kilowatt hour. Here at 80, it's certainly going to be under that. So, and that's with the aero caps. Maybe there's something wrong with this specific car. I'm not sure. But Lucid didn't immediately come back to me with any sort of reasoning. I asked them before I posted the range test. I'm like, guys, did I do something wrong? Can you pull up the data? They were looking and nothing was immediately apparently wrong with it, which is why I posted that video, because that's the accurate result I got with this car. It just feels a little bit weak sauce on the efficiency, even for the tri-motor big boy Sapphire. Not sure, but these are the numbers we're getting, and that's why we do these tests. This is what I'm talking about, folks. Wide freaking open toll roads in the middle of the day. It just doesn't get better than this for testing. Everyone was wondering why we moved back to North Carolina. Well, roads like this so we can do testing all year round, racetrack, and it's just a great area to be in. Look, we're still going to be in Colorado a ton of the time, but at least for testing, North Carolina, this is where it's at. This is perfection. Well, this is where the toll road ends, and that is where the traffic starts. So what do you say we use this as our turnaround point, and we'll just kind of loop back and forth where the road is empty. It's about 36 miles in, and I think that's pretty reasonable. So yeah, we'll loop off here. Let's head back the other way. Still able to maintain speed as we cruise towards the double oval. So no stoplights or anything. I think that's a pretty perfect situation. Just head back the other way at 80 miles an hour. That'll be great. We have been comfortably cruising for the last little while, and we're reaching back to where the toll road starts. So according to the Lucid, it thinks there's this nice little loop that we can take to get right back on going the other way. I guess we've got no option but to try it. It also says drive assist unavailable, but it's clearly drive assisting. So don't know what is up with that. All right, well, let's see if we can flip back around. We're 71 miles in. We always say like 70, 75 miles is minimum acceptability for this test. Anything over 100 miles is great. And then if you're over 150 miles, then that's a fantastic result. Currently, no car has ever gotten over 200 miles. The Taycan's done like 180, 190, something like that. Anyway, this, I don't think we're going to get up there, but I think we'll be definitely north of 100 miles, which is a great result. Very good result here for a road tripper. So let's see if we can take this nice loop like the car thinks we can. We are still able to cruise at pretty good speed, at the speed we need to on the off-ramp. It says we're going to take this left to Raleigh. This is amazing. If this is the true turnaround situation, I'm just going to drop the speed here a little bit for the corner. But we can still maintain, you know what? We can probably still maintain 80 miles an hour around this. This is a Sapphire. Lock in load, back up to 80. Come on, baby. How sick is this? And then we just keep hanging left, Triangle Expressway. No way! This is perfect. I mean, going around a corner for a long period, we'll scrub tires a little bit and we'll alter results slightly, but like compared to any other loop we've ever had, this is literal perfection. And then we can just hang left again and loop right back. No way. Loop right back onto the same road. This is amazing. And then we've got to go exit right up here to 540 West. So this is, no one's behind us because that road starts there too, apparently. And then we exit here. No way. Oh, got to go 80. Got excited there. Got up to 82. That is freaking sick. We've got the IONNA charger with 400 kilowatt Alpes. We've got the perfect roads for testing. This is amazing. Oh, I'm so thrilled to do all of our tests here. This is perfect. A little bit of an update, guys. We've just passed 100 miles in our 10% challenge, and we are at 18%. I'm heading back towards the original start of the road so we can cancel out as much elevation as possible. You know, anything over 100 miles is a really, really solid, great result in this test, and we are comfortably going to be well over 100 miles, as you can see right here. Efficiency check-in is, as we expected, under 3 miles per kilowatt hour, but not by that much. 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour seems incredibly low. You know, for example, like a Rivian will get 1.7, 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour in this test. I'm trying to think what else is around 2.5, but you know, that's the thing. Lucid is always so hyper focused on efficiency with their cars that the moment you start driving really fast or, you know, weather related drag or temperature issue, then it's like you just need battery capacity to augment the effects that the efficiency has on the car. That's why like Escalade IQ, no matter what, seems to just always do 400 plus miles because it's got 200 plus kilowatt hours in there. And yes, it handles like crap because of it, but if you just care about this kind of driving, there's still no replacement for displacement, no replacement for efficiency, no replacement for big ass batteries. Efficiency works when you drive in nice warm conditions at moderate speeds, not when you're really ripping on a car or driving at high speeds on the highway. Regardless, this is the high performance trim of the Lucid. A Grand Touring would do way better than this car, and so I'd love to retest a Grand Touring down here at the new loop and really set some benchmark numbers with that car, because that is really a great long distance vehicle. We have just reached 11% state of charge, and so that means we're going to be keeping our eye out as soon as this dips from 11 to 10 to see what type of distance we have covered in that period of time. And we are getting pretty close to the end of the road, so I'm thinking we will just exit to head right back towards the IONNA station, but we are going to end very, very close to where we started, which is always the goal. 123 miles traveled so far. Let's see what it says when we dip back to 10%, but hopefully it happens within the next couple miles, because I would like to do it while we're still maintained 80 and have no risk of traffic at the exit over there. There we go, 10% state of charge right before we take the exit for the end of the road. Let's just call it 126 miles, and we got 2.56 miles per kilowatt hour. 2.56. Not great, and you can see only 49 kilowatt hours used. Now, if you remember, we put 54 in from the charger, so there's charging losses that happen. We were also running the climate control while charging, so that burned some of that 54 kilowatt hours. And then also there's discharging losses while driving. So that is why there's always that roughly 10% or so losses, and that adds up there. So 126 miles in the Lucid Sapphire, that's a pretty strong result, I have to say. Pretty strong, not unexpected, because it is a Lucid. It should charge fast and go far. But hey, that's totally acceptable. That puts it square in a very nice road tripping range for this vehicle. Well, there you guys have it, the Lucid Air Sapphire 10%. Just editing up this video right now, forgot to film a proper outro, but let me know how you think it did. Of course, it's not matching the road trip capability of the Taycan. Still, I think it's totally acceptable. Really nice road tripping car, unbelievably quiet and comfortable with fairly good driver assistance. Just sometimes freaks out around exit lanes, but it has been getting better with the over-the-air software updates. I just want to see a big step change from Lucid in terms of driver assistance capabilities. Other than that, super cool car. That's the 10% challenge number for this one. And let me know what you think about the new North Carolina loop. I'm really excited about it. I think this is the perfect 10% challenge road. We just sit at 80 the whole time with no issues. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on another one again soon. Bye-bye.